Alright, time for some video, my friends. It's been a few days since I've filmed anything, and been getting a ton of stuff done. I just put my first knife together, and from this batch, and first time I flipped it, I did one of those. It still needs a tiny bit of tweaking, but the color is not final, although it's amazing. This is our stonewashed finish. We got a whole box of handles and clips and a few blades back from the tumblers. That is an amazing, amazing finish. Blade is sharp, so I got a piece of tape on there. But it's got detent and it locks up. So I still got to bend the lock bar over a little bit more so you get a bit more spring pressure. But just guys, this is cool. So this guy, if you can see that hint of blue there, we decided to try something new. We anodized the whole handle blue and then sent it to the tumblers. And tumbling got all the surfaces, it got inside the pocket, but it did not get inside the edges of the pocket. So everything else is silver, but that part is still blue. Did the exact same thing for the pocket clip. This looks freaking insane. And then on the inside as well, our Grimsmo knives stayed blue. A little bit of blue here and here. No big deal because you never see it really, but that's awesome. I want to do that for every single pocket clip ever. That looks so good. Let me just put it on here with the pins. See the little pins from the last two videos. Works awesome. Shove that on there. There are screws that go in from the backside that hold it in permanently, but that stonewash is just epic. It's a little slower than I would like. For one, it's going uphill, but like I said, I got to move the lock bar over, and that'll give it more pop. Yeah. My 3-year-old daughter has a new phrase. So excited! So that's my new favorite phrase. Been saying it all the time. Now is definitely a cause for that time to say that phrase. I don't know, it's like 2:30 a.m. usually when I film my stuff. Blade is even relatively perfectly centered. I've been having some warping issues because of the way that I mill the blades. Never warps enough that it's going to rub the side of the handle, but maybe, not all of them, might not be dead center. I'm working on it. Yeah! Silver with a blue accent. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's just too cool. I'm going to be flipping this thing all day tomorrow. So explain to me what's going on here. Don't give away all your secrets, but you learned some good stuff here, huh?
Yeah, I've been disc sanding for days, and I'm finally figuring out, you know, all the things that I was doing wrong before, and they come back to haunt you when you get to finishing. But yeah, this one looks like it was done right. That's 1,000 grit.
Yeah, you're flashing me pretty good there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you do it all in the right order, it seems to be perfect. But before I was doing it all wrong, and it was a lot more work.
So what grits are you using?
220, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000. And may or may not try another 1,500.
So 3M, 220, and then a bunch of black ice. 400 and up.
Yeah. Very careful.
You can just hear it.
Yeah.
How smooth and consistent that is. What grit is that?
1,000.
1,000. Yeah, that's why.
And I've already gone over it. Yeah, it's nice to get the feel of it though. And
Yeah, with enough experience, right?
exactly. You spend enough time doing it, and you can hear it, you can feel it in your fingers. And
Like, I haven't done a lot of this, so I don't have that feel that you do. But just the way you're explaining it, like, you got to do it the exact same every single time
yeah.
for every single grit, and then they look wicked, fantastical.
Yeah. Think those are ready to be orange peeled now? So I hope everybody ordered ridiculously awesome knives. Because that's what they're getting.
So shiny. And then you're just going to orange peel it over top of that.
Yep.
So I am machining blades right now. That's my job. Perfecting the code. I've changed it 24 times and keep changing things and trying to make it perfect and optimize it for super awesomeness. I've got two different end mills I'm trying to use here. And I don't have my camera light, so we'll just have to use this. This is a Lakeshore Carbide 3/8 inch corner radius end mill. So the tips of the end mill are not sharp, they're radius with a 60 thou radius. Because as I'm machining these bevels, you want a bit of a radius, otherwise you're going to get very sharp steps. So I wanted to try a sharp end mill to see, you know, if it would give a really clean cut. And it does, but I pretty much wear through an end mill per pallet of parts. And this is only one side of the blades. You got to flip it over and do the other side. That's not very good tool life. However, I'm cutting steel that is 60 Rockwell hardness, and it's stainless. And I'm not too surprised that the end mill's wearing out, but now I know. So I'm actually going back to the way I used to do it, which is using Tormac's toroid cutter. This is a 2-insert button cutter. You can see it's got two replaceable steel or carbide inserts here, little buttons. And the cool thing with these is you can actually, when they get dull, you can rotate them until they're not dull anymore, and then just keep rotating. I can probably get 5 rotations out of each one, and you know, it cuts with 2 of them. And this is a much cheaper way to do it because for some reason the inserts last an incredibly long time, way longer than an end mill. And you know, cost for cost, the inserts are way cheaper, especially since you get 5 rotations out of it, versus an end mill. And you know, I feel bad wasting all this end mill because all I'm doing, let's see if I can focus here. You can see the tips there are just toast. All I'm doing is wearing down those tips. The center's still sharp, and all this side edge is still sharp and completely unused. So obviously I'm not going to throw it away, but I don't have a lot of use for it at the moment. But I'll keep it around for future use, for anything that needs side cutting, side milling. But I mean, for this purpose, I'd be essentially buying tons and tons of these just to wear out the tiny tips of them. And that's a lot of carbide to spend money on, whereas these little inserts are super small amount of carbide and relatively cheaper to replace. They're not cheap, but between the tool life and the you know, cost of them, it's definitely the way to go. And as far as surface finish, giving away all my secrets here. Let's check out surface finish here. So this one was cut with the end mill and a quick Scotch-Brite just to smooth out the lines. You can see the vertical scratch marks. That's Scotch-Brite. Pretty good surface finish. This one I just made with the toroid cutter, the button, and it's considerably shinier. The scallop is less, if you know what that means. and it just looks super duper good. I mean, my fingerprints are showing up, it's so shiny. So I mean, there is a tiny step, but listen to that. Can you even hear that? That's not much of a step at all. It's a little bit more on this because the radius was smaller on that end mill. So yeah, I like this toroid cutter. I've optimized the speeds and feeds and the cut depth and all that stuff, so it's better finish than I was getting with the last batch of knives. So I'm just super duper happy with how these are turning out. And then when Eric disc sands the face of these, oh, they're gonna be crazy. We should be charging double what we charge.
I think so.
Maybe one day we will. So get in now while you can.
What you doing?
Loading up another pallet. Getting these things rocking out. Actually, the box is getting really small. 10 left. Not even.
Now I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yes, I'm just getting these clamped down, and that one just finished, and that one's getting unclamped. And we're working hard. Blang blang. So something I just figured out is really annoying. We've got these awesome DeWalt drill bits and these bits on the end and hex bits, and we use to screw in all the bolts on our fixtures and stuff. So I've got the impact driver and then the screwdriver, and I use the impact to loosen, the screwdriver to tighten. And so this adapter on the front, this one is a DeWalt thingy, relatively concentric. I just went to our local Canadian Tire, which is, if you're not from Canada, it's the hardware store basically, or the everything store. And I just got this one. And although, you know, might not seem like a big deal, but when I'm tightening these down, it just wobbles the heck out of it. Really annoying. It still works, but it's just really annoying. And that's what I get for buying cheap, no-name, store brand stuff. I mean, this one was $5. I think the DeWalt one was like 10 or something. But it's kind of annoying. So, just shows to go you know, sometimes it's good to buy brand name, spend your money where it belongs. But other times, cheap stuff works just fine. And you never know until you try it. Let's see, what else? Any other updates? So we're just rocking the blades. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're in such busy production mode that I don't have a lot of time to film, so I'm just sort of catching up as we go along. Eric has been practicing his hand rubbing of the blades and the handles, and you can see it's got a very beautiful even scratch pattern. Same for the handles. He's doing a really good job, having a lot of fun with that. With the handles especially, because we've got like pinhole locations on the bottom and pins on our fixture, he can set the handle onto the pins and then it doesn't move, so he can you know, sand them like that. So he was telling me he disc sands it up to like 800 and then brings it back to 400 for the hand rubbed scratch pattern, and that works awesome. So like I said about needing a bit more lock bar pressure, that's this spring-loaded lever here that basically gives you that flipping action. I bent this thing very weakly just to get me started, just to do something, and it flips great. I mean, this flips better than many flipper knives that you go out and buy that have a much harder pull to them. And the lock bar disengagement is super easy. I like it to be relatively easy. I'm a weakling like that. So let's pull it apart real quick. Super secret guts inside. I don't think I mentioned anything in this video, but I made a special video all by itself about how I made these. Don't believe me? Oh, I did. I made my own bearing cages. 1/16 inch bearing balls go inside, 10 of them. Fits precision on a 3/16 pivot. They're awesome. They're super awesome. Stay tuned for that video. It's awesome. Okay. Okay, the lock bar lever, you can see how little it's bent over, like just a little bit. With my super awesome ceramic detent ball pressed in there. And I'm going to bend it over just a little bit more. I'm preloading it. Titanium is very springy, which is why it works so good for a handle material. But if you bend it far enough, it'll spring back to a resting place where you want it. Okay, that is a lot more, probably double what it was. So let's throw it back together. This thing's going to be really hard to fire now, I think. Let's find out. And I don't have to put the frame screw in, but I like to because it just tightens everything up. Loosen the pivot a little bit. Perfect. A little tighter. No blade play, still moves freely, that's the goal. Yeah, this is way harder to disengage. However, oh my goodness. That thing fires ridiculously faster. Anyway, I think I'm running out of batteries. That's it for now. I did want to mention one interesting thing about this knife before the batteries die. There is no lubrication on those bearing balls yet. There's no lube on the pivot, there's nothing. This is completely dry. I haven't used my fancy nano oil or anything like that. Completely dry and smooth as butter. When I break this thing in and put some oil on it, oh. Yeah, that's right.